Ciao a tutti and welcome to this live video behind the scenes of the Toscana Wine Retreat, the very first edition of an event that created kind of a buzz and interest within the community, an immersive experience that saw a number of people coming to Tuscany for a 4 days they stay in a very beautiful place that it has been really the result of a long journey of brainstorming between me and Roberta Costante that would like to join to this call. Ciao Roberta and welcome again in this video live.
Ciao, hi.
It looks
It's a
like there's
pleasure
been
to be here.
ages.
It's an honor.
Looks like
Thank you,
there's been
Claudia.
ages, but it was just 3 weeks ago that we said goodbye, right?
Right. That's true.
So
It's it has
it has
it
been
has been such a wonderful journey. So I'm still recovering for it.
okay, good. There is a little delay in the connection, so let's try we'll do our best not to overlap. This video, guys, is for you if you are among those wine enthusiasts who were kind of curious about what happened and what was this retreat about, or if you are a wine professional that is intrigued by the idea and perhaps would like to bring some customers or partners in Italy for a similar event, or if you are an HR that is looking for an innovative and interesting formula for a team building event, for example. If you don't know who I am, my name is Claudia Callegari, and I'm a wine professional with now over 18 years of experience in the wine business, particularly in the Tuscan region. And together with Roberta, that is with me tonight, we have been running this very first edition of the Toscana Wine Retreat. Roberta has been helping us very much with the educational part, given her background. Roberta, if you want to say a couple of words about that.
Yeah, as you said, I have 10 years experience in educational part. So when we decided to go for it, we built this very special program for this first Toscana wine retreat, and it was amazing. Just a full immersion on the Tuscan wines and all the secrets behind them.
So, Roberta, right before or a few months before the event took place, because there were so many people asking information and asking about
Yeah.
curiosity, we decided, as many of you recall, to organize a Q&A live session. Now that the event
Yeah.
has taken place, we have been thinking to share with you another Q&A session, but this time with two of the people of the amazing woman that actually took part of to the event. And I would like therefore to welcome on our stage from two different continents, Jill from USA, Tennessee, and Kiron from Australia. Hi girls, everyone. Hi, how are you?
Good.
It's so
Buonasera.
Hi,
funny.
girls.
We are connected from three different continents, and it was so difficult to find a time that could fit each other because for
Mm.
us in Italy it's 10 p.m. For you, Jill, is 4 p.m., right? 4.
Yes.
And for Kieran, it's 7 a.m. I'm so sorry about that.
Coffee.
All right. So, as we mentioned, I would like to jump straight to the Q&A live session because through the questions we will actually reveal all the secrets, all the of everything that happened during this first event. And I would like to start by asking uh, Jill. Jill, how many wines have you been tasting during the retreat?
Oh my goodness. Um, you know what? We started out about mid-morning. Then we always had wines paired with our lunch. Then we had wines that we tasted in the afternoon, and we had wines that were paired with our dinner. So, as far as a number, gosh, I don't know. And even at one vineyard, we had like 8 wines that they gave us. So we had a bunch. We had a bunch of wines.
I would say probably countless, isn't it? And for Kiron, how many people joined, or could you come alone to this event?
Yes, it was wonderful. I think that the more the merrier, obviously. Australians, we love a good party. But I love the fact that we were a very intimate group, and therefore we spent the morning with Roberta learning so much about the area and everywhere we were. And then by the afternoon, when we were tasting and in networking, we all became friends in the fact that we got to know what each other did, and we got to understand each other's demographics of where they lived and how Tuscan wines are received in their different countries. So I think that the more the merrier, of course, but the smaller group for me was an absolute bonus.
I agree. I totally agree on that. And Jill, this question is something that created a lot of concern to people. Was transportation provided during the retreat?
Oh my goodness. I never had to worry about a thing. I met Claudia outside of Florence because I went a few days early to do some things. And from that moment on, I did not have to worry about getting under the wheel, getting a taxi, anything. She took care of everything from picking me up where we picked other people up, to Lisa, who drove the van when we needed it, to actually taking me and physically putting me on the train when I was leaving to go back. It was wonderful. There were no worries at all about transportation or worried about where I was getting anywhere.
And talking about the accommodation arrangement, how did you find them, Jill?
Oh, I'm in love with, and I probably can't say this correctly. Is it La Julga? How do you say
Le, Le Giunche.
Okay, the villa was mwah, it was perfecto. The brothers that owned it took care of everything down to the details. You had also taken care of everything else in addition, but we had the run of the meal. We had the whole place. It was out isolated where we could have the most beautiful view of Tuscany, looking over the rolling hills. And I love that place. I just love it. And I think a lot of it was because of the brothers
Yeah.
and
And
their
for our
hospitality.
community, I would like to show a little video about the place, if you give me the chance, because I think it's nice to show everyone where the retreat has taken place. Let's take a look.
Oh,
Do you miss us, Jill?
I do. I miss it. Oh, I do. It was
Okay, but
wonderful.
now I do have a question for Kiran, because I know that she will be happy to respond to this one. Kiran, um, were meals included in the retreat package?
Oh my goodness, we did not need to put our hand in our pocket from the minute you picked us up. I actually started to feel incredibly bad in the fact that everything was included. And on the last day, Jill and I were like, can we take you out for lunch? Because you've just spoiled us for the whole week. And everything was included. In fact, the brothers just made too much food. It was just they tried so hard. And what I really loved the most was all the local produce and what was produced seasonally for that time, and then paired beautifully with the wine. It was incredible. So thank you so
Great.
much for arranging all of that. And yeah, take me back to La Junque. I just want to sit outside of that view and paint it. Like if we can just set up easels and paint it, that would be how amazing.
Yeah. So, okay, now we covered the more logistical part and aspect of the retreat. Let's get down to the work, and let's ask Roberta to ask you some question about the educational part.
Yeah, first of all, take me back to the Junke too. Take me with you, please. So my first question is for Jill. Jill, what level of wine knowledge was required to join the retreat?
I don't think there was a certain wine level. We had everything from enthusiasts to professionals, but in your presentation, you covered, kind of at a 80,000 foot view. But then when we got home, you sent us these wonderfully detailed PowerPoint presentations that went into even more. You took it up a step. So I think a wine enthusiast would feel very comfortable, and they would learn, absolutely absorb a lot of information. But even as a professional, there's things you cannot hear too many times. I mean, it's good to hear repetition. And you touched on things, but even better, we zeroed in on grapes and wines of Tuscany. So it's fabulous.
Good. So, Kiron, how could you best prepare yourself for the educational part of the program?
That's a really good point, because I enjoyed the professional side. I like the deep dive into the areas, the soil types, the grapes. But because we had such a limited amount of time, and because you were going quite quickly with regarding the information, I actually was very happy that I had done a lot of research and knowledge beforehand. I mean, it's still never the same as physically going there and touching the soil and seeing the grapes, but to have that session in the morning where you're on coffee and your brain is alert, and then to go to the vineyards and physically see what you're talking about, that aspect of where the sun was coming from, that grape variety on that slope of the hill, that soil type with the shell and varying soil types. I loved the fact that you've got one region and then you cross a bridge and the wine is the same grape but can taste so differently from one side of the hill to the other. So to me, as much preparation as you can do just to absorb as much information. But as Jill said, you can never hear these things too many times, because as you keep hearing it, you keep learning something new from as you're hearing it. And another little penny just drops and you go, that's why that happened. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So, Jill, what's your biggest learning from the educational sessions?
Oh, wow. Well, there was a lot. First of all, like we said, it was a lot of good review that you can never hear too much. Second, we did, like Karen said, we did some deep dives and we got into the really nerdy stuff, which I love. That was especially appealing to me. But then the last thing, which I think we all knew, was I had been anxiously waiting to talk about wine pairing with music. And you took it to another level. I had ideas in my mind about it, but you took it to another level, which is just getting my critical skill set going. And I'm so excited about that and still am. So I got a lot from that too. But I love the nerdy stuff. I love the nerdy stuff too. So there was a
Yeah,
lot.
that's two sides of me. Yeah, the artist and the nerd. My two sides. So, Kiran, how did the wine and food pairings work during the retreat?
Oh, they were really well organized, especially to start with, just to have the same grape variety and to see the Sangiovese grape from all those different winemakers and their processes of how they go about why they do what they did, and then for us to then decide like, oh, I prefer that one or I prefer that one. But then there were aspects where years came into play, like there was a better year in some than others. But the food pairing and the wine was, for me, beautifully done. I mean, no one can understand the food and wine from their region than a true local. And, I think Claudia just did that perfectly. And that was for me, and introducing us to a wine that I never even heard of, which was a Sangiovese based grape variety turned into a rosé. That was for me just a turning point of like to get that amazing light, beautiful wine with the slight color and tannins in it. Perfect. And I think we paired it with rabbit that day, and it was, see, I still haven't forgotten. And I haven't forgotten the beautiful pairing
Yeah.
as well, because for me and the female palate is just not what's on your tongue. Women, we are sensual and we love all aspects of our body, and our bodies are very sensitive, our hearing, our sight, our touch. And, to have the music and the wine and the food, that was awakening so many senses all at the same time. It was absolutely wonderful.
Good. Oh, Jill, were you able to practice some cookie technique?
Oh, I'm looking at that question and going, me? I am not a cook. I am not a cook. But I will tell you, learning how to make tiramisu in a Tuscan village is as good as it can get. It was phenomenal. I thought that was an absolute blast.
Okay, ladies, I have a short video to show about this particular activity. So it's the first time for you. I know that you see it. So let's get ready for a nice laugh. Oh, sorry, not enough laugh.
Cooking class.
So those were just a few shots
Bravo!
about few seconds about what happened and how funny Alessio was to introduce to the cooking class. We had really a nice time. They were wonderful hosts, I have to say. All right, back to the questions. Now I have one for Kiron. Kiron, just a question about the vineyard, since you were so much into it. Were you able to visit some vineyard? Were you able to meet local winemakers?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. For me, as an importer and a distributor in Australia, for me to be able to tell the story of where I have sourced these wines, and particularly for our female palate, is very important for me to meet the winemaker and to understand the process that they need to go through to create this end product. And it is so amazing to hear the backstory, to hear the effort, to hear the toils that essentially the winemaker is a farmer. They're a farmer, they are a winemaker, then they have to go through logistics of bottling and labeling and then working out, then they have to be marketers as well. So they have this whole role. And I think my favorite was to go and visit the winemakers that started off as butchers to start with, and they had a piggery there as well. So coming from a country town myself, and seeing the livestock for me was just that smell of the farm and the animals next to the vineyard with the wine, and then having all of that on a platter on your table was just the full round circle aspect of it all. And to meet not just the winemaker, but the mother, the father, to hear the whole history and the story is an absolute blessing for me. I just think that encompassed so many aspects of a family life, and truly as like a business as well, that is a family business that's carried on all these generations. It was wonderful, and I can't wait for that wine to arrive in Australia and I can tell the story. And I can take people back there and show them as well what I experienced.
Absolutely. But for you, for the people watching, I would like to show some of the clips of the two wineries that we visited together with the wine retreat. Are you ready?
Yes.
Everything and the human. For Roberta, we selected 60.
Well done.
Outside, too sharp.
So, and that was our two winery visit, Cagliarossa and Grattamacco, that were part of the Toscana Wine Retreat. But now I have another question, especially for Jill, because we covered the logistic part, we covered the educational part and food pairings, we covered the winery visit. But a question for you, Jill. Was there any hands-on activities like grape harvesting or winemaking?
We got to blend our own blend. I've never done that. It was absolutely wonderful. And that's totally separate than what Kiron was saying earlier about getting into the vineyard and seeing all that and into the winery. We went through all that as well. That was hands-on. But the morning we sat there and did our own blends was so fascinating. It was something totally new. I learned a lot from it. And of course, I loved it because I won. Yeah. So that was very critical to me as well as part of the process.
Yes, because it was not only an educational session about 3 different varietals, but also kind of a competition in which each participant was challenged to craft its own blend, and Jill was the winner. Shall we watch some of the clips about that part?
Yes.
And the winner was Jill with the best blend. So well done.
How wonderful.
Okay, so another few questions because you know that I have been founding Caligari Wine Room 2 years ago, and with this private business, what my mission is to scout and source wines that I make available through events like this one. So a question for again for you, Jill, if you don't mind. Hold on. Uh, Hold on. Could you purchase any wine that you tasted during the retreat, Jill?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe that so many of them we can purchase through your wine club as
All
well.
of them. All of them, actually.
All of
All of
them?
them.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
We had an awful lot, so I wasn't quite sure if it was all of them. But yes, because
Uh-huh.
the ones that are still ringing out in my mind that I know I liked, like the Monacucu or Monacuco and the Brunella.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try. I know you carry those, so I know I've got a home to go get them. So that's the other part of what makes it so nice is we just didn't try wines that we can never have again. We tried wines that we can buy again.
Correct, correct. And Kiron, talking about marketing, were there any souvenirs or gifts included in the retreat?
Oh my goodness, you completely spoilt us, totally spoilt us. We had our own little packaging with our name on it. We got our own little book and pen and everything. So that was really important for me because I love writing notes, and I now can go back and look at those beautiful notes from our retreat. And your beautiful, I love the coloring of your branding. Like it's like a beautiful aged wine, that color that's sitting behind you there. And I was trying to emulate it with my color behind me. Anyway, and then at the end of the course, I was so excited and gratified to get my certificate in my Tuscan wines. And then you gave us your logo is the key. You gave us a beautiful key, and because I was so excited, I wore around my neck the whole time,
Yes.
like a necklace. It was unlocking the door to Tuscan wines.
Yeah, that was the idea. That was the idea. Okay, we are going towards the end of the retreat where we had the rock star Roberta Costante playing not only the educational part, but a very important aspect or a very important activity of the retreat. So, Roberta, word to you.
Yeah, my last question, girl, is for both of you. So, how did you experience the wine and music in Paris session? So, Kiran, let's start from you.
Oh, I mean, I love music, and the music you chose was just so good to the point where we all started karaokeing to it as well. But your choice and your effort and the blurb that you gave us beforehand as to why you chose this piece of music to go with that wine was like the effort that went into that was amazing. And thank you for that, because then I understood why I liked it, but then I wanted to understand, you being Italian, why you chose this and to go with your wine. So it was an amazing experience for me. I was really blown away.
Yeah, thank you. What about you, Jill?
Oh, she said so much. I agree with everything she said. And like I said earlier, I was so looking forward to this, and you took it a step up for me so that I feel comfortable now doing it here. But your descriptors and how you paired it with matching, the backbone of the rosé to go with the backbone and the backstory of the song. It was just perfect, and it all fell into place and made a lot of sense. So of course, I was so looking forward to that. And all weekend, we were all walking around singing. Every time we'd hear a word, we would leap into song. So it was perfect. It was great.
So are we ready to
Yeah,
see some
I
clips about
agree. Totally.
that?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
The last meal with the music, the wine pairings, the wine we had. Perfect.
Oh, amazing. Oh, take me back. I can't believe it's all over.
Okay, so this was just a few seconds, but eventually I have a few extra seconds of the singing if you allow me to share that on a live session. Jill, may I? Come
Why
on
not?
over. Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Your smile is like a red spring. Your skin is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Joe. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what it means to me, Joe. Oh my goodness, we had so much fun. I'm sorry about
Oh, you
this.
could tell we'd had a few glasses of wine.
It's the last day.
Okay, I have one last question for both of you. Probably the most important question. Would you do this wine retreat again? Jill?
Yes. And I want it to be a day or two longer. I would love it to be
Okay,
another day or
wonderful.
two longer. Yes, absolutely.
Kiron?
Without a doubt. Oh, hell yes. Yes, definitely. I am back. I know it's a 24-hour flight and that's just the flight time. Totally worth it.
Okay, nice, super, and we will be working on that. Roberta, anything to add? Because otherwise, I just have one last clip that I want to show just to close this live chat.
I think we genuinely had so much fun. And you can see by yourself by the videos and the photo, it was so spontaneous, so genuine, and it was amazing. Like we have been knowing each other for a long time. I don't know why this magic happened, but it happened. So thank you.
So, ladies, are you ready to say goodbye with this?
Oh,
3, 2,
have-
1. Mama, how can I resist you?
Ciao.
Mamma mia, does it show again? My, customers have missed you. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It has been wonderful meeting you in Tuscany. I truly hope that anyone listening to this chat, because it was really a chat between friends, could be inspired to organize one, to join one next event, to get in touch with me or Roberta for another activity of this kind. And you got all our details. I look forward to see you once again in Tuscany. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye guys.
Buona
Bye guys.
notte.